Welcome to Winners on a Wednesday. I'm Russell Leeds and I'm joined this week by an incredibly inspirational guy. This story will blow you away, and his name is Declan.
Hi Russell.
Hello Declan, very good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, cheers.
No problem at all. Now, your story is pretty incredible. So why don't we start off from the beginning, when you were in the Marines?
So my background is similar to Joe Lane, Royal Marine. I spent 10 years in the Royal Marines, and I've left just a couple of months ago.
And you joined there when you were 18?
Joined when I was 18, yeah.
So straight out of school?
Straight out of school, finished my A-levels, straight into the Royal Marines. I've had a great time, travelled all over the place. Norway, Arctic warfare over there. Spent some time in Afghanistan, ran the Middle East. Some diving expeditions, security at the Olympics, all sorts. It's been a great 10 years.
Did you learn a lot and grow a lot as a person, do you think, while you were over there?
Both physically and mentally, it does definitely sort of toughen you up. Some puts you through some challenging situations,
Now, while you were over there, you injured your shoulder.
Yeah, so about 4 years ago, I was in a rugby tournament for the military, for the Marines, and went in for a tackle and it dislocated, and I've had 2 operations since, and unfortunately it meant that my career in the Marines could no longer continue unless I wanted to take an office job, which is just not for me.
No, okay, so you're in the Marines, you've been there for 10 years, your whole life
was military,
How did it feel to come out of that?
It's been a bit of a shock to the system, to be fair. Sort of, you go from being around a load of guys, your friends, that you kind of bonded with, to basically being on your own. I've only been out for 2 months now, but I'm still adjusting. I mean, it's been a relatively sort of easy transition because I know what I'm doing in property.
Yeah. Okay, so you come out of the Marines and you think, I want to do property.
Yeah.
What made you think you wanted to do property?
I now know I want to do property, but when I started off, it was I had no real intention of going in full time. I hadn't heard of any sort of training facilities or Samuel or his YouTube channel. I literally bought my first property in October 2017. Purely to live in, up in Liverpool. My girlfriend was going to move in with me, bought a house, needed a lot of work doing to it. It was a repossession, and
brave.
Well, I didn't get a survey done, which was maybe not my brightest idea.
Where did you get the money from for this?
I saved through my time in the military. We go away a lot, so it was relatively easy when you're away to put a bit of money aside when you're on ship and things like that.
But you put all your money into this property?
Yeah, I mean, I put a deposit down. Initially my own property, put the 10% deposit down, and I started doing it up. But because I didn't get a survey done, I realised that we had a bit of damp, a bit dry right under the stairs.
Oh no! And
then there was a leak in the roof, and I remember my mum coming around and saying, "Declan, what have you bought around Christmas time?" And I was
so you literally have bought the worst property.
It seemed like a bag of spanners, if you like.
So you started doing it up.
Yeah. And quite soon the initial bit of money that I'd put aside got blown out the water, and before I know it, I was 2-3 credit cards maxed out.
Oh no. So you've got this house that's horrible.
Yeah.
You've blown all your savings on it.
Everything.
Are you living in it at this point?
No, I'm still not living in it. It's still not in a fit position to live in it.
So you spent all your money on it and it's still not even fit to live in it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty bad.
It is bad. And then things took a slightly even worse turn in the beginning of 2018. My dad was rushed into hospital, and he wasn't well for a while. And we knew he wasn't well. He was going to the hospital. He had loads of medication, and he was quite a proud man. And he knew that me and my brother were off working in Devon in the military. He lives back in Kent, and I was going up to Liverpool and doing stuff for the house. And got a phone call from my brother saying he got into hospital, and unfortunately we lost him 10 days later. He had advanced prostate cancer, and he had pneumonia. No, that's fine. And there was a thing that's kind of why I'm sort of in property now full time, and that, and then discovering Samuel. So he said to me whilst he...
When was this, sorry?
When
was this happening?
This was in February.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
So in February this year, you've just come out of the military?
I'm still in the military at this point. Yeah, still in the military, trying to juggle a house refurb, my own one, in Liverpool. And then that's obviously, everything came grinding to a halt a little bit. Went down and spent a couple of weeks with my dad before we lost him. But before we lost him, he said to me in hospital that he was always looking forward to retirement, and he was never well enough to do anything with it. So he retired at 65, and then we lost him 4 years later. And that, you know, that sort of really rang home to me. You know, it was a bit of a...
Well, I mean, your life's falling apart, basically.
Yeah, it was a bit of that time, and you know, and shortly after that, I thought, what am I doing with this property? And that's when I started reading books on property, and I came across the Samuel Leeds Buy Low Rent High.
Buy Rent High. Yeah.
And it was like a lot of stuff in that book rang true to me. How so many people they work hard. 99% of us work hard until we're 65, to then retire on 40% of what we couldn't afford to live on in the first place. And you know, my dad he worked hard. He was a long distance lorry driver. He'd leave on a Sunday night, work all week, and then come back on a Friday. And you know, he really tried to look after me and my brother, and that's what his dad did before him, and that's what he knew, and that was the way that life worked. And I thought, you know, there's got to be another way. And then I did inherit a little bit of money from him, and I was like, I'm going to make this work, you know.
How much did you inherit?
I inherited 30,000 from him.
Okay.
So that helped me out a little bit with the money. But one of the videos that I remember watching on the YouTube channel was don't buy where you live, rent where you live.
Yeah.
And then buy to rent. So, you know, I rang up my mortgage advisor, and I said to him,
because this was the point now, because this was the point where you started to educate yourself. And you realised you want. So I know that you read Samuel's book.
Yes.
You're watching the YouTube channels.
Yeah. Everything.
You went on the Property Investors Crash Course.
I went on the Crash Course. Yeah.
And you're learning this stuff now. This is what I love so much about this story, is that you're in such a hard position. I mean, this is only I was filming this like 10 months ago.
Yeah, it's already December now. So yeah.
So this is such a horrible situation. You've lost your dad. You've bought this property that's a disaster. You've got no savings left. You're in a really horrible situation, and the way that you learn and the way that you've educated yourself and turned it around is just incredible. So the first thing that you learnt about was a strategy called buy, refurbish, refinance.
Buy, refurbish, refinance. So I bought a property and I was refurbing it.
Yeah.
Inadvertently, because, you know, I wanted to put my own stamp on this property. I knew it was a good deal because it had a lot of stuff that needed doing to it.
Yeah.
Massively underestimated the refurb cost.
Yeah.
And I'd spent all this money.
Everyone always does.
And I rang up my broker, and he'd been in the game like 20 years. He had his own property, and I said to him, you know, after reading Samuel's book, can I refinance this? And he was like, well, we have to wait 6 months. Okay. So, but yeah, we can get the lender out, and they gave me a further advance. So I bought the property for 92,
yeah,
10% deposit, and then I spent, let's say, well, it was 16,000, 17,000 in the refurb, so that's 107, and then it got revalued at 135.
How awesome is that?
I mean,
you bought it blind, didn't even get a survey done on it for yourself to live in, and then you've managed to buy, refurbish, refinance it, which you didn't even know about.
Didn't even know about it. Stumbled across it.
So how much money did you pull out of it?
So I pulled out 28,000. I had to leave 15%. They wanted me to leave 15% in the property.
Yeah.
So I started with an 11 grand sort of deposit, spent 16, 17 in the refurb, all my money back.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. I love that.
So that was obviously great. And then obviously what Samuel said in his book about, you know, rent your own house or rent where you live and then buy to sort of rent out.
Yeah.
So I spoke to my broker and I said, you know, I'm in the Marines. I'm down in Devon Monday to Friday. My circumstances, you know, have changed somewhat. Can we look to get permission from the lender to rent my house out. And he squared all that away for me. And lo and behold, I thought this property would actually work quite well as a multi-let.
Yeah.
It's quite close to the city centre. You know, great for young professionals or students.
Yeah.
I was looking maybe in the student market, but students wouldn't start until September. So, in Samuel's book, he mentions about other property strategies like doing serviced accommodation with it. So, you know, renting out on Airbnb and booking.com, etc. So we had the Grand National coming up in Liverpool around April time, and I remember people saying they could not get accommodation for love nor money. So I thought I might be onto something here. So I like drastically found some old beds, bit of old furniture, nothing, you know, most of it was sort of second hand, some mattresses, took a few photos, put it on Airbnb, and I got a booking for the Friday night and a booking for the Saturday night, and over that weekend it was £900. So £900 for a weekend for my house. And I, at the time, was doing all the cleaning, all the laundry for the first month.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Hold on, you were doing the cleaning?
So I'd travel up from Devon on the Friday. I'd leave work about 1 o'clock, and then I'd get to the property. This is for all of April. I would strip all the beds, clean the house from top to bottom. Quite often we'd have someone that had left on the Sunday or Monday, and then I'd go and clean it. And then I remember the Grand National weekend was the worst, because I actually went to the National on the Saturday, but on the Friday we had people that went to Ladies' Day, so they were checking out Saturday, and I had another group of lads checking in Saturday, whilst I'm wanting to go to the National. So I turned up to the house at 11 o'clock, cleaned it from top to bottom. Some of the lads were still asleep. They made a mess, and then I made it to the National, and unfortunately I got some good reviews from the property for it. It was an eventful month, and unfortunately at the end of the month I got contacted by a management company. Didn't even know that they existed, and they came round and they said, we can manage your house for you if you want, for a fee. And I was like, there's the keys.
Just take it. Just take it.
Yeah.
So how much do you make off that now? Now you've got it properly, because I'm assuming now you don't do anything with the house.
No, it's a 3-bedroom which will turn into a more of a 4-bedroom, because the front reception room works well as a bedroom.
Yeah. And you're doing it at service accommodation now, though.
Doing it at service accommodation, full time, and averaging £2,000 a month after management fees. And then
after all the fees to that, it's all right.
It's all right. Bills and mortgage about £600 a month.
So hold on. This is where it gets rich. So you bought this real rubbish house with no survey. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You pull all your money back out after the refurb, and now you're making £2,000
a month
profit a month off it.
£2,000 profit a month. Yeah. And so my mortgage is getting paid.
So your return on investment on that is
infinite. Yeah. So financially free pretty much for that one first property, you know, which was going to be my house to live in. So
from reading a book, watching YouTube, going to a free event, you have been on the Deal Fun Extravaganza as well.
I've been on the DFE since, yeah.
But you've done well.
It's going okay.
You've done well. Yeah.
Cheers, Russell.
You've done very well. And what did people say? Because obviously when you were going through the very dark patch, and when everything was going wrong in February 2018, what were your family and friends saying to you about the property that you bought? You know, were they saying that you were an idiot?
My mum, I remember coming around just before Christmas, and when I realised that the damp was actually needed to be properly sorted, and then the dry rot, and then the leak in the roof, she was like, Declan, what have you bought? Like, this is not a great investment, you know? And I was like, I started second doubting myself, you know, definitely. I didn't know that I could pull my money back out of this property. I was just a money pit at the time, you know.
What do they say now?
Now I've got people queuing up to help me. You know, my mum wants me to help her out and invest up in Liverpool and that, and managed to turn it around
in months. It's crazy. So you bought this one. So you're pretty much £24,000 a year profit. You're pretty much financially free at this point.
Financially free, still in the military at this point. So I was still commuting up to Liverpool and that. I was doing a lot of the work towards the end. I was doing a lot of work on the house myself to cut costs down.
Because I assumed you'd left the military earlier. So when did you leave the military then?
I actually left the military in October, just gone, so 2 months previously.
So you were working full time?
Full time in the Royal Marines, Monday to Friday, in Devon, and then I would commute.
So you did all this in your spare time?
Yeah, basically trying to manage.
You're a bit of a grafter, aren't you?
I'm not. I like to get my hands dirty. Yeah. I'm not shy of hard work. If I see the benefits of it, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you've got meaning in something, then yeah. And well, I didn't really have any other choice with this one. You know what I mean.
Yeah. So what have you done since then? So you got this one.
So I got this one. That was the first one. So yeah, I did inherit a little bit from my dad, and obviously I pulled the money back out.
So you've now invested that wisely.
I have.
You know what you're doing now.
I know what I'm doing. I still went on the crash course straight off the back of the of that course back in early summer in London, and then after that, literally off the back of that, I bought a property for 39,000 without mortgage. So no stamp duty as well, because it's under the 40,000 mark in North Liverpool. That one was actually passed over from a friend of mine who could no longer go through with it because he'd just bought 2 flats and a shop. So he was like, Declan, I can't do this one anymore, it's going through. So I didn't even have to pay sourcing fee for it. And next door sold for 68 4 years prior. So I did my maths on it, now educating myself and knowing that there was some money to be made. And so I spent 15 on the refurb. Still doing bits and bobs myself, helping builders out, mainly like just doing tip runs and things like that, because I'm still sort of starting off, and I wanted to learn about sort of developing property, what's involved in it.
I know that we very much teach be hands off and passive, but I do believe there is a place, especially in the early days, of getting your hands dirty, because you need to understand it. And if you're there, and you need to be wise to what's going on, and if you know the process, you have to do it forever. But at least then, when you're getting other people to do it, you know what it is. So, for example, you understand how much of a ball ache managing a service accommodation property is.
Oh God, yeah. I've given it a go for a month, and I realised that I've got so much respect for my management company that do like 11 o'clock. We had one of the beds broken, and on a Saturday night, and they went round there. They sorted it out. I don't, and little things like that.
Yeah, you can appreciate that. So it's good. I think it's good to get a bit hands-on, so I don't think that's a bad thing. So this one, so you bought it for 39, you spent 15 grand on it.
On the refurb.
So 54.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then the valuer came out literally weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, and they went round, and so the first thing I did, make him a cup of coffee. Done a lot of work to this, and I was like, new roof on the kitchen, plaster in there, brand new kitchen, brand new bathroom. Just things with I think what I found with the lenders when they come round, you've got to can't do the job for them because it insults them, but you've still obviously got to tell them what you've done. I showed them a few pictures on my tablet
of what it was like.
Yeah, what it was like the kitchen.
Bit of a salesman.
Just
selling the work you've done.
So it has to be done to a certain extent, and he was actually ex-military himself, so we got a bit of a rapport going, and that helped.
Go on, you're going to tell me you've pulled all your money out?
I pulled all but 3 grand out. It came back at 70,000. So obviously 75% of that is 52. And a half.
So you pretty much pulled all your money out again.
Most of my money back out, and that will work. That will go all day long as a buy to let. Got some tenants lined up. 500 a month will be rented out for, and my mortgage on that will be about 170, 180. So it's 320 in that, which is great. And then the last thing that I've been doing after the DFE.
We skipped over that. That's a brilliant thing as well, by the way. You just bought another house for free. Carry on.
Sorry, Russell.
No, it's fine.
The last deal that I did off the back of the DFE. Great couple of days down at your offices at Wolverhampton. And obviously the rent to SA it's a real sort of buzz in the industry at the moment, and there's obviously people making great money out of it. So I thought, I've got a bit of time now between now and Christmas. Maybe I should try and get myself one of these. And I picked up one right next to Anfield Football Stadium in Liverpool.
Beautiful.
Brand new house. Landlord owns it outright. He's a London owner. Negotiated the rent on it. got them down a bit, so the rent on that is £700 a month. Full permission to do serviced accommodation. I kitted it out. I didn't lease the furniture on this one. I was in a fortunate position where I had a little bit of money, and the leasing for a 4-bed, it was coming out really mega high. So I shopped around, using places like Facebook Marketplace to get brand new beds. B&M for my pictures for the walls.
Bit of wall art.
Bit of wall art. Did themes with the walls. I had like different colours for each rooms, and I went live with it on Airbnb on the 4th of December. And this is the first month. Obviously, we've got the Christmas month. But I think I'm about 900 in profit for December for that one property.
Amazing.
So passively. Yeah.
Passively, well, you're doing 2 off that night. You're doing it, and then you got your single there. You're doing far over 3, maybe 40 grand a year. Would you guess?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I've got.
So just let that sink in. 10 months ago, you have got no money. Your credit cards are maxed out. You are left with this unlivable house that you're planning on living in.
Yeah.
And you're in a really dark place where everyone, your friends and family turn around going, you're an idiot and that. And then 10 months later, you're passively earning £40,000 from property, and you've got a load of money in the bank as well.
Yeah, that's basically it, yeah. Full time in property now. Loving it.
It's such an inspirational, amazing story. I absolutely love it.
It could have gone the other way though. It was, if I hadn't.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have gone the other way, because it did go the other way.
Yeah.
But you fought your way out of it, because you work hard, you're a grafter, and you know when to educate yourself, and you do it and you take action. So it did go the other way.
I wish I'd educated myself prior to a certain extent.
Yeah,
it would have saved me a lot of hassle, basically.
Saved you a lot of stress.
Education is key massively, and learnt loads coming on the courses, the free crash course. It does blow your mind, and that's when the penny properly dropped, I think. And that. And
so how are people going to get in, people that are watching this now might want to get in touch with you? They might have a joint venture offer for you. How would they do that?
So it would literally be a case of going on the Samuel Leeds Facebook group. You can search my name, Declan Archer, drop me a message. I'm currently looking for my next deal. Might have something going through with a pub in Wigan.
Nice.
With off plan to convert. Like I was saying earlier, I've not felt comfortable in property at all in the last year, really, truly. And one of the things that Samuel says is get comfortable being uncomfortable, and it is so true. I'd potentially do another bit by refurb refinance, but why not go, well, I've done that, what's the next step?
Yeah.
And the next logical step is, using bridging for a bigger deal, a joint venture with someone, obviously getting project managers in place for a conversion, or for a build even. Why not?
Keep on educating yourself. Keep on. Yeah, you do. What one big tip would you give to people? Because for your year, would you have believed it if back in February, if I'd have spoken to you and I'd have gone, Declan, in December you're going to be passively earning £40,000 a month, and your property is going to be bringing in, that property alone that you've bought right now is bringing in £2,000 a month, and you're going to have another few as well. Would you have believed it?
No chance. No. But
so what tip would you? Because there might be people out there watching this that are in a situation like you were in right now. So what obviously other than your story, which is inspirational in itself, what would you say to them?
Mindset, positive mindset. Just keep going. I think mindset is key. If you're a slightly negative person, just try and be a bit more positive. Work through it. You're going to get tested in property. You're not going to be comfortable. If you're going into your first property deal and you've got, that's fine, it's easy, I'm going to make loads of money, and you're not a little bit uncomfortable about it, something's seriously wrong, really, I think, personally. You need to put yourself out of your comfort zone to get where you want to be in property. This is just from my experience so far. I mean, yes, 10 years in the Royal Marines has helped me, because I've been uncomfortable many a times in my previous job. And that did help me, and that helped me get me through. But with the right help and the right guidance and that positive mindset, anyone can do it, honestly.
But Declan, absolute pleasure having you on the show. Such an inspirational story. We've got the winners on a Wednesday, every single Wednesday, so don't forget to tune in again next week. I hope you guys are inspired by that, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
My name's Samuel Leeds. Thank you for watching Winners on a Wednesday. Every single week we interview our success students for your inspiration. You can watch more right here on the playlist. There's a whole playlist of them. But what you'll notice is every single winner on a Wednesday, it always starts with them coming to my 2-day crash course. So if you would like to be a winner on a Wednesday, literally come on my crash course, and who knows, in 3 months' time, you could be here in my offices on this show as a winner on a Wednesday. So get yourself booked on the crash course, watch more, have fun. I'll see you next week.